Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Opie Radio Podcast. We're 500 feet above the streets of New York City. Down on the streets, you got Mom Donnie's snow. You got junk everywhere. You got garbage piling up. You got 18 dead. You got a subway homicide in the Bronx yesterday. This city is alive, Tony P. It's alive.
This city is going crazy, bro. You've got to watch yourself out there. There's black ice everywhere. The snow melted overnight and it froze up on the sidewalks.
Oh, black ice.
There's black ice, man. I almost took a header walking the dogs today.
Well, also there's the rats. Oh my God, is anyone talking about the rats? I was walking doggy late last night, and my regular garbage pail. My dog. He doesn't give a shit. It's 10 below, that it's colder here in New York than Alaska. Until today, I think it's finally going to warm up a little bit. He don't give a shit. He wants to take the full walk, and when I'm the furthest away from my apartment, that's where he wants to poo. And then I got my garbage pail, the same fucking garbage pail I use day after day, putting doggy's dog poo in there, right? And yesterday, I reached into the dog to drop the dog poo. Sorry. It's too early. And all of a sudden, a fucking rat comes popping out of that garbage pail and almost starts crawling up my arm. And I squealed like a bitch. Dude, I consider myself, I'm not going to say I'm a tough guy, but I can take care of myself. You know what I mean? But mice and rats will make me squeal like a bitch. And then I looked around praying that no one saw me. I'm like, oh my God, you can't see me squealing like a bitch.
This day and age, you're allowed to do anything you want, bro.
I hear you. What's wrong with your neck? You're like,
yeah, I don't know, man. It's all creaked. I did something. I don't want to say I slept wrong because I slept throughout the night, so you can't say wrong. But it's fucked up. Something's wrong.
Yes, something's wrong with it. Well, it's gonna affect your bowling. You got your bowling shirt on.
I got my bowling shirt on today, man.
Is that your league bowling shirt?
No, this was. I don't bowl. What do you think I am? Who do you think I am?
That's a bowling shirt. That's a bowling shirt.
This was on sale at Old Navy, I believe.
You could learn my tricks. I'm deflecting because I just admitted that I was squealing like a bitch because I saw this rat was big too. And then, as I was walking back to the house, I noticed more rats because the garbage is piling up.
You see, that's the one thing I don't have. It's a strange thing to say. I live in the Bronx, but there's no rats by me. We have raccoons and possums.
You got raccoons?
Raccoons and possums and skunks. There's a bunch of skunks around. Yeah,
really?
That's what we deal with.
Yeah. And we got coyotes too. We got the coyotes in Central Park.
We got fake coyotes. We got fake coyotes on the ball field to keep the geese. To keep the geese from shitting.
I think it's geese. I
think it's geese. Whatever, man. To keep the fucking.
Well, you got. I'm just learning this. You got fake coyotes to keep geese away. Is that real?
That's what they have. Yeah, at the ball field, they have fake dogs.
Right.
There's about 4 of them, and they pitch them around the fucking ball field. And because during the winter, the geese go over there and shit. They shit up the field.
I know. I used to play. I forgot the name of the course. Crab Meadow. Was it Crab Meadow? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Out there on Long Island, and the golf course was just loaded with geese. And they were getting crushed by golf balls because they were everywhere. You couldn't wait for them to pass. They were everywhere. And every once in a while, man, your drive would just knock out one of these guys.
You ever kill one? You ever take a goose? You ever take out a goose?
I didn't take out a goose. No, I never took out a goose. But I want to have a goose for Christmas. I want to go old school. Maybe next Christmas, I want to go like turn of the century and come into my house with a goose, holding it by its neck.
Man.
And I want to say, Merry Christmas, everybody. We're having goose tonight.
Can I come over and just stand on my knees and be like, thanks. Can I have some more, please?
Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely.
Can I be Tiny Tony? Can I be Tiny Tony?
You could do that, but It is quite early today. My God.
It's early. It's actually gorgeous outside. The weather it's not that cold.
Well, that's the problem because now we go to the next stage where you walk the dog, and then you spend 20 minutes fucking cleaning up his paws so he doesn't leave the fucking New York City gook all over your apartment.
It's crazy, man. You ever run out of dog bags? I ran out of dog bags the other day.
I ran out of dog bags. The culture of being a dog owner, it's when you run out of dog bags and you have to ask another dog owner for a bag, it's like asking someone for a cigarette. They get really annoyed, and they will hand over a dog bag, but they'll do it in a way like, don't ask for any more. One and done. Just like when you're bumming cigarettes. They get, I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to poop 3 times.
Man, I called my wife. I was a block away from the house. It was about 2 degrees out.
Yeah.
And I stood on the corner guarding you can't really walk away from it either, because if somebody steps in it, then it's technically your fault.
Yeah, exactly. So
I froze. I froze to death waiting for a shit bag.
There are times I run out of bags and he'll shit, and I'll go back the next day and get it. Yeah, especially if it's sometimes if it's not out of the way. I'm not one of these animals that leave it right on the sidewalk. Then I got to get creative.
Well, that's what the problem was. The problem was it was in the middle of the crosswalk.
Yeah.
And everything else had snow around it.
Yeah. But I'll grab like an old discarded can and just scrape it up. But if I can leave it until the next day, if it's next to a tree where I know no one's going to fuck with it, I'll go back and get it. There's nothing worse than picking up
cold shit.
Cold dog. What is it?
I don't know.
It's
bro. It's
disgusting.
The worst.
All right, I invited Tony P on today because I got a special surprise guest. I think I sent him the link. I mean, he might have been pulling my leg. Who knows? But as you know by now, Ron the waiter is MIA. Ron the waiter is MIA. So we're getting people to fill in until we figure out what's going on with Ron the waiter. But he said he needed a week off. His week off is almost done, and I haven't heard from him since last week. Jesus. Man. And with that, I say good morning to Alex Stein, prime time.
Good morning, Stein.
I can't hear you, Stein. I can't hear you, Stein. I can't hear you, Stein. All right, he's saying one moment. A lot of people said to me, Tony, why are you having Alex Stein on? You know he's going to pull some shit.
Let him pull some shit.
Can you hear me now? No, are you kidding? I'm the biggest Greg Opie Hughes fan in the world. These people are, I hate the Dabbleverse. I'm telling you, the Dabbleverse is the worst place on the internet. I know I'm going to get a lot of kickback for this, but I mean, I'm on your side, Opie, when it comes to the Dabbleverse. It is an absolute disaster to even be a part of it. Trust me.
Well, I don't even follow the Dabbleverse. They try to pull
I know. That's why I would go on your show, because you're anti-Dabbleverse, but they try to drag you into it. They try to drag me into it. I hate it so much.
Wait, they're trying to drag you in for real?
Well, I mean, just always, Kevin, a guy that I was always nice to, just took all these shots at me for no reason, literally no reason. I didn't even do anything to him.
Right.
And he kind of apologized, but I just don't even want to go on his show because it's just not worth it. And then I've been watching a little bit. They've been having that prostitute on, Scarlett Hampton, and it's just been so bad. I mean, it's really sad.
I honestly don't know any of this shit. All I know the basic stuff. Let me tell you something. They do well. A bunch of those shows do well. But you told me when I ran into you at a Trump rally.
Or that was when he got indicted, right? Well, it wasn't a rally. It was him going to jail. What was that again? What was the big deal?
I was live streaming on the streets of New York, and Trump came to town because he had to show up in court or something. I'm like, I'll check it out. It's 10, 12 blocks from here. And I went, and next thing I know, I hear this guy, Opie, I'm not. And I know who you are, dude. You're fucking massively huge. I thought back in the Opie and Anthony days that I had balls. You fucking have the biggest balls going out there by far. So we met, and then I got one video. It's quick. We met, and then Alex decided let me see. Alex decides he's got to put a MAGA hat on me. Let me just play this real fast.
That
it's
was
like
a funny
30 seconds.
clip. That's a funny clip.
Let me see.
Opie.
What's up, bro? Oh, no, that's
Opie,
the other
I'm
one.
Alex Stein. I'm the guy who's making you do my show. They want to flip up with Opie.
Oh, Alex.
Oh my God, I gotta get this.
No, you ain't taking my picture, Alex.
I'm a secret Trump supporter, Greg Hughes. Put on your MAGA hat here. Can you see how? Look. I'm with Greg Hughes in his MAGA hat. Let's go, MAGA.
All right, bro. Now that I met you, I'm going to do your show.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, my God. I just realized I never did your show after I met you, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, you can do my other show, but so this is why I'm such a fan of Opie and Anthony. You know, I was a big Howard Stern mark for forever, and Howard used to bash you guys, obviously, but then that's why I started listening, and then I really liked your show with Jim. You know, I became an Opie and Anthony fan, so you know, I've been a fan, obviously, of Anthony, Jim, you know, since the Sirius radio days. So, and I'm friends with Bubba the Love Sponge. I love Bubba. I always liked his show, and he likes you a lot. So,
well, Bubba.
See,
I burnt every bridge. I'm a problem. You know, I'll be the first to admit it. And me and Bubba started doing some stuff. Then he got excited. He's like, I'm going to go to Howard Stern and tell him that, you know, I'm going to try to like get a show together with you and we're going to put it on Sirius XM. And I'm like, dude, that is not going to work. And I never heard from him again.
Wow.
he
likes you. He talks good about you. He talks good about you.
No, I love the guy. I would love to get him back on this. But I just want to mention the Dabbleverse really fast. You know, you can't deny that some of those guys do well, but I don't know where it leads to because like you got talent that goes past just trashing fucking people. And the Dabbleverse is based on an old Opie and Anthony bit, right? It's based on Jocktober, where you find someone just. Yeah, you could find the weakness. I could find the weakness with you if I really wanted to.
Of course. People make fun of me, of course.
If I watched enough of your stuff, I would find a couple clips where you weren't as good as, you know, you are, whatever. And then you just focus on that, and then you make the guy look like a complete asshole. It's right out of the Opie and Anthony fucking playbook. It was called Jocktober. But the problem with the Jocktober thing, when we did it, we knew you could only do it for about a month and it gets tiring and old. So I don't know what these guys do when they're not trashing each other.
I have to agree with you. And, you know, you're right. Some of these guys are making a living. But even Kevin, though, Kevin has a stream every day for 1,000 days in a row too. I mean, he's basically one of those like Aiden Ross streamers. He because it's like a slot machine, right? Every time he turns on the stream, you know, he's hoping that he makes some money, and he does well. Like you said, you know, I'm not throwing, you know, shade about that. We all got to make a living, but it's like just so toxic. At some point, I just don't know if it's worth it to just constantly be negative like that. I just, you know,
I would love to see some of those guys just spin out and just start doing something else. You know what I mean? But whatever. Dude, you got the biggest fucking balls in the world. What do you think would be your biggest prank out there?
Well, my AOC video is my biggest one.
Well, when you called her,
I called her a big booty Latina, and and that one just blew up on the internet. But honestly, I don't even think that it's that I'm that brave. It's just like I think I have ADHD and I just like attention and I'm just a sicko and this is it. It's hard to go into a room as a comedian and make everybody like you. You know, that it takes a certain talent, but it's not that hard to go in a room and make everybody hate you. And I kind of realized that that's easier to do. And people like that on the internet. People like cringe content for whatever reason. And so I've just been able to be successful in that. But I like you said earlier, you know, I don't want to just make stupid videos. I've been filling in on WBAP, the local station here in Dallas, and I think Cumulus is going to offer me a job. And
oh, nice.
I'm working for, you know, Real America's Voice. But my point is, I wanted to be like you guys forever. I wanted to be like Opie. I wanted to be like Anthony. I wanted to be like Howard even. And, you know, I don't really love Howard anymore now that he's in the Epstein files. What do you think about that? Do you think he was doing any weird stuff with Jeffrey Epstein?
I mean, I doubt it. He's
too. I don't think
he's a germaphobe, dude. The whole Epstein file thing is really interesting because obviously Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of fucking power, and that meant he got a lot of people together. And my whole rap on that is everyone that you see in the files didn't do something. But I think, but it's hard to believe that they didn't know what was going on with this fucking guy.
Well, they knew, but the guy was a billionaire. They thought he was just super influential, and that's just how these A-list celebrities operate. I mean, I do agree with you. Like, not everybody that was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile, but some of them were. And then the latest leaks, they're talking about jerky, and I didn't even know this.
Pizza.
Jerky is a code word for cannibal eating a human. Yeah, I didn't even know that. And I called into Howard in 2016. I have a clip. It's on my Twitter. And when Pizzagate was going crazy, and that's back when I was listening to a show every day, and I got through, and I remember Gary picked up. I'm like, I want to ask about Pizzagate. He's like, I'll put you right through. And Howard just disregarded it as a nothing burger. But now, 10 years later, it looks like there are elite people that were doing weird stuff with kids on airplanes, on islands. So, you know, I feel vindicated, I guess, with that.
All right, I got to ask you the big question, because I know you lean right, which is I actually lean right. People think when I don't agree with Trump
this is a safe space now.
There you go. You got that's Tony P, by the way.
Yeah, Tony, I know Tony. I see Tony on here sometimes.
All right, so you know, when I don't drink the Trump Kool-Aid or whatever, people immediately like label me as snowflake and all that. Whatever. I lean right. I would like to see someone that's a little more moderate than Trump. But with that said, your thoughts, Trump and the Epstein files.
Well, I mean, I don't think Trump's a pedophile, but Kash Patel, who is, I considered a friend, a guy I'd met a few times and was really nice to me, has been a disaster, has been an absolute disaster, saying that it's a nothing burger when it's obviously a big deal. Trump said it's a Democratic hoax. That's not true.
Right.
So, and really at the end of the day, it's a uniparty. Like we can say, it's that's why they divide us. They make it like it's Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers. You know, we have to be on a team, and if you're not a fan of my team, then I hate you. When in reality, most people are in the middle. Like there's only a few key issues that we disagree on, you know?
Right.
And I think that's done on purpose, right?
Of course.
They want to pit us against each other.
Of course, because they don't want to do the heavy lifting down there in Washington and figure out the real problems in America, which I obsess about healthcare. I think our healthcare is absolutely fucking horrendous. But instead, sorry, Alex, instead they got us again. They got us again. It's Bad Bunny versus Kid Rock. Whose side are you on? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I can't find a fucking doctor in New York City because my healthcare stinks.
No, and we should have subsidized healthcare or something. Like I just don't understand how we have all these money for wars. We got $1.5 trillion to build bombs and just kill kids all over the world, but we can't give people diabetes medicine cheap. We can't give people, you know, all kinds of medical issues are ridiculous. Even getting an X-ray, getting any sort of medical procedure,
right,
is insanely expensive because these insurance companies run the world, and that's the real plight that I try to, you know, I guess call out is that we're being run by multinational corporations. Like it's not even politicians. It's the politicians are all bought and sold by the insurance companies, by the banks, by companies that could just, you know, have endless amounts of money. So that's where I'm really against it, is all the corporations that have so much influence.
So we mentioned, give me 15 seconds on Bad Bunny versus Kid Rock. Did you give a shit either way? And be honest.
I'm being honest. I love big booty Latinas. I want amnesty for all big booty Latinas. I'm sick of ICE trying to deport the big booty Latinas. Like, you know, if you're 9, you're fine. But at the same exact time, I think, honestly, you got 150 million fans, and then you put a guy speaking Spanish. Could they have got an English-speaking, you know, person on there? I mean, that's all I'm saying. You know, when I was a kid or when I was younger, I loved Michael Jackson and Prince. Those are iconic, and I just don't think Bad Bunny, even if he's the most streamed guy in the world, I don't think he has the cachet of those legends. And that's kind of where I'm like, okay, this seems like they're just doing this to piss people off. And you know what their excuse was? Oh, well, we already have 150 million fans. We want to get new fans.
Right.
But I'm like, why don't you make the fans that you currently have happy? That's the problem with these corporations. They don't want to actually make us happy. There's no customer satisfaction, even with the NFL.
But you're not like fucking triggered and spending hours on this.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny. No,
I think it's hilarious, and I think Roger Goodell knew exactly what he was doing by doing this, because you know, you want people to talk, and it's so hard to get an audience. Like when we were doing Opie and Anthony, we were one of the only games in town. It was fucking easy, bro. And now I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucking live stream from a windowsill to try to get traction nowadays. Really, is not easy.
Yeah, but you're in a nice apartment in New York. I mean, you're in a pretty nice place.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of a bigger audience again. But it's a lot harder, and I think Roger Goodell and the NFL knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, he has more streams than even, you know, Taylor Swift. But to act like the Kid Rock alternative was some great fucking show I don't understand why people are so dishonest. Can't you like Trump and also admit that the Kid Rock thing was thrown together and it wasn't that great?
Well, I like Kid Rock.
I love Kid Rock. He was on my show.
Kid Rock, honestly. I think he's pretty cool. But it goes back to what I was saying. I guess I'm happy that there is an alternative, Super Bowl performance, but they did that to, I guess, talk about that, and we don't care about the game. Nobody cares about the game, and on top of that, the game sucked. That was like just a boring Super Bowl. So
it was terrible.
We talked about Bad Bunny more than we talked about Sam Darnold, and it's just stupid. It's dumb.
Well, yesterday I cursed the Patriots. I said if the Patriots would have showed up and gave us a game, we wouldn't be talking about Bad Bunny and Kid Rock. I couldn't even name one play from the game. It was probably the worst Super Bowl of my lifetime. Probably.
What do you think, Tony? You think it was the worst one? I mean, it was pretty bad, I thought.
I was too busy watching Big Booty Latinas, bro, to be honest with you. I was at a Puerto Rican household, and they were all dancing in front of the screen, bro.
Yeah, well, the Puerto Ricans love it. Titi Me Pregunta, now I know that song. Now I know that song. It's stuck in my head. But I agree with you. It's like, it didn't piss me off that much. But I didn't really like with the two guys humping on the truck. Did you see that, Opie, where they humped on the truck?
Yeah, I got two kids. I just explain shit to my kids. I'm not worried. I don't need anyone else raising my fucking kids. I have an open relationship with my kids, and I explain shit. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, I'm not anti-gay. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I have a lot of gay pride, obviously.
Oh, God. Dude, how good was the Cowboys documentary?
Oh, on the Netflix? I've watched it twice. It is so good. And could you imagine being in that White House, the guy that would have to go and fill it up with liquor and booze, how they were just like, would walk in, players were filming pornos behind the team facility in the White House. And all the other players, that just shows you, and I met Michael Irvin at a strip club like 20 years ago when I was like 21. He's still on fire. But my point is, all the other players in that documentary, they didn't want to talk about the White House. They're like, it was just a place. But Michael's like, I was the president of it. I ran that shit. And I was like, well, he didn't give a damn. And I think he was married at the time. But
well, that's why no one else wants to talk about it, because they were all had bitches on the side. But I hate the Cowboys. I'm a Bills fan for real. I grew up
really hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, I grew up a Jets fan, and then when I lived in Western New York and started my radio career, I fell in love with the Bills and been following them ever since. But with that said, that documentary was so amazing. Everyone was so open, and people think Jerry Jones is cursed. No, he's not cursed. He just needs to get his hands involved with every move with the Cowboys, and I think that is what has hurt him over the years.
Well, Opie, you nailed it, because if you watch that documentary, there's a scene where they were signing Deion Sanders, and Stephen Jones said that he pushed him against the wall and got mad at him. I love the old Jerry that would take risks and sign players and give him big contracts. We don't do that anymore. Stephen Jones is like, oh, we got to save money, we got to sign draft picks. It's all they're pussies now. They run the team like pussies. If they still ran it like Jerry did when he was like a wildcatter, we'd probably be irrelevant. We might have a Super Bowl within the last 30 years. We also might have some 2-15 seasons, but it's worth that. I think it's worth it to have a couple crappy seasons, because believe it or not, the Cowboys have a better, in the past 30 years, our regular season record is the best in the league. I'm not even kidding, because we're just a perennial 500 team. We're never that bad, and we're never, good enough to go to the NFC Championship game even.
Well, all you need to know is, they win a Super Bowl and then they fire. That's like what?
And watching that documentary, all the players didn't respect Barry Switzer, but Barry Switzer at Oklahoma was a very well respected coach. People forget that. People think Barry Switzer is such a chump. I know that he didn't have the team because it was
no, but he got it.
Team,
but
Barry Switzer was a good coach.
But he got a Super Bowl for the Cowboys as well. So
yeah.
He
wasn't that bad, but it wasn't his team, so the players didn't respect him. But in college, I mean, Barry Switzer is a Hall of Fame college coach. It's like, in this day and age, this Kirk Cignetti guy, he's good for Indiana, but we don't have those guys, those Bobby Bowden type guys. It's weird. Maybe because I'm older, I just don't respect the college coach. Like Lane Kiffin, I went to LSU. That's where I graduated from. And I'm happy we signed Lane Kiffin, but at the same exact time, in 2 or 3 years, he's going to screw us over, and it's going to be bad when he leaves.
Dude, I'm not gonna front. You might as well have been speaking Spanish. You might as well have been.
Oh, you don't even know the college. Okay, I was just talking about.
I'll tell you why. You're a college football fan. I tried But the problem is being born and raised in New York City, we don't have any fucking big powerhouses. So it's hard to become a fan. We got Hofstra on Long Island, we got Syracuse, and we got Rutgers. That's it. We don't have any real teams, and I don't understand why the NCAA has never pumped up a fucking team for the New York area. I mean, there's a massive fan base up here just dying for college football.
I'm honestly surprised that, Rutgers has had a couple good years, but I am surprised that they don't have like some football powerhouses in the tri-state area. I guess Penn State. I mean, they're a beast, but they're in Pennsylvania. But you got thrown out of Penn State. I did with Gavin McInnes with Anthony's co-host. We almost got killed. We almost got killed. I'm not even kidding, dude. They were chasing our car. They had to give us a police escort. I got spit on. Those are the good old days. But, sadly, Opie, like, you were saying that I have balls.
That's the good old days.
Well, but this is the thing. You're saying, like, it is hard to kind of build an audience, and it is, even though you used to have one of the biggest audiences in the world. But you know what people want to see? They want to see people get killed. They want to see me at a protest get spit on. Like, they don't really care about podcasting. They want to see you, like, get totally put yourself in danger. Like, I'm actually worried, though.
Wait, can you walk us through the Penn State thing? Because, my audience is obviously different than yours. So, but, just give me the basics of that again. I know you were doing an appearance with Gavin, and they didn't want you for what? For your past shit? Or what was the problem?
I mean, I was just kind of the appetizer, but we were with this student organization called Uncensored America, where they have a chapter at that school. And Penn State is just... it's a big school. They have a lot of woke kids. And because Gavin was there, the Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys, all the Antifa from the area were there. And that's actually how the Proud Boys started. They were like protecting Gavin because he was getting assaulted and at all these events. So I'm an idiot. Gavin's like inside near the cops. I'm like, I'm going to go out there and, just... see what's going on. And so I go out there with my camera phone like a total idiot, and they're hitting me, they're throwing pizzas at me, they're spitting on me, and it's great content, but it just riled them up so much they ended up having to cancel the gig because they were beating on the glass trying to break into like the lecture hall where we were having the event. So it was insane. It was crazy.
I'm sick because I think it's hilarious. Are you ever scared out there?
I mean, it kind of depends. Like, I go to these LGBTQ rallies. I'm not that scared there, but if I go to like some of the pro-Palestine stuff, those guys get a little.
They don't mess.
Shifty. Yeah. They don't like joke. They don't have as much of a sense of humor. There's a guy, Jake Lang. If you like crazy content, he's a January 6th guy that got pardoned, but he goes and you've probably seen the clips. He'll put like bacon on a Quran. Like he's gonna get killed. I feel really bad. I tell him all the time. I'm like, Jake, I don't know if you really need to do this. Like. There's a better way, but I'm not going to tell anybody, how to live their life. But somebody's going to really take offense to that and Charlie Hebdo and start shooting. I'm not just saying that. I believe that'll happen.
One of my questions was going to be, where's your line? And I think you just told us. But with that said, you did throw hot dogs at a Muslim fighter once.
Well, they were turkey dogs, though. It's funny you say that. That was my boxing match. They canceled. I specifically used turkey dogs, had the turkey dog wrappers, because I didn't want to be haram. I didn't want to go after them that bad. I just was trolling them. But yeah, they canceled my fight because the Brits are such pussies. They own that company. And that was the biggest video that they had to do promotion for the fight, and we didn't do the fight. It's like, that pissed me off. But then I ended up fighting on Skankfest with... a guy by the name of Mike Harrington. He is Luis Gomez's producer, and Mike is tough. I mean, I won the fight, but it was a bloodbath. He's a tough guy for sure.
But I mean, throwing hot dogs at a Muslim guy and they don't know it's turkey yet. That's fucking ballsy, bro.
Well, we're trying to get some publicity for the fight. I was trying to get things riled up. So I'm always, and I'm just totally shot out of a cannon. I'm like, let me just do it. I come up with an idea and I know that it's going to be edgy. Right. I guess this goes back to what I was saying. In order to have an audience, you kind of have to be like Kevin Brennan and push people's buttons. Like, you can do it different ways, but there is something, though, it's sad about if you're not pushing buttons and being polarizing, people aren't interested because we're just so desensitized to content. So I knew that I was going to push buttons. And pushed a big button, got me fired. I lost $15,000. I'm still sick about it.
Well, let me tell you, the philosophy of the Opie and Anthony show is very simple back in the day, and it's happening. You just explained it, actually. Me and Anthony understood that we had to do the shocking events to get people talking. We came into New York. No one knew who the fuck we were. We were both from Long Island. We had no experience in New York City radio. We did really well in Boston, but that meant nothing back then in New York because you could not like today where you could turn on a camera and everyone could possibly watch you. So we came to New York as just these two idiots. They thought we were from Boston, and we knew we were talented. Back then we had insane chemistry, but we knew we had to get the people talking around, quote, the stupid water cooler. That's an old saying, right? What are people talking about around the water cooler? So we did the big shock jock events. But we didn't rely on that. That was to get the people to the fucking show, and then hopefully they found us funny and everything else was interesting. And then we would wait another week or so, and then we'd grab the next shock jock thing. But then, like Bill O'Reilly and all these assholes, they just labeled us as shock jocks. No, we were using that as an element to get you to our fucking show because when you do this every day, it's a grind. You know, and if you're just doing shocking things every day, eventually people are going to be like, all right, what else you got? And that was our philosophy back then.
Well, I'm a diehard Opie and Anthony fan, but it's funny if you think about it. I think I said this maybe one time we were on a stream together, or maybe it was Anthony, but it's like you guys really kind of took care of Louis C.K. when he was, struggling. You guys were there for Louis and all of these comics, and I think that's why the chemistry was so good. And like people give Anthony a lot of credit. He is super talented, but I would say that I liked you on the show. I always thought you were the head of the show. I mean, I still think you are technically. I mean, that's how I always kind of impersonated the show. And that even though Anthony was great at impressions, very funny, like I kind of always thought it was your show, theoretically, that's how when I listened to it. But what is funny is that, and I said this earlier, I started off, I hate these guys. I'm going to listen to them, fuck Opie and Anthony. And I only knew Jim Norton because I'd seen him on, what was that Comedy Central show with
Tough Crowd?
Yeah, Tough Crowd, of course. I'd seen him on that. And then, dude, you guys with Patrice, did you notice how Howard started to poach Patrice towards the end of his life? Of course. Were you mad that Patrice went on? I know that you guys said that you didn't, but what did you think about that? Because that
no. Patrice was insanely loyal to us. No. We understood some of these guys had to go on Howard, to expand their audience, but I was never pissed off at Patrice. I knew where his loyalty lied, man. That guy was just fucking amazing.
I mean, the clips are still good. I still go back and listen to Opie and Anthony to go to bed. I listen to y'all's show. I mean,
I'm telling you right now,
Patrice.
Often. Oh, sorry, Alex. I'm telling you right now, if Patrice didn't die young, he would be considered one of the greatest comedians of all time. He just falls short because he died young. His shit was unbelievable. I've said this many times. I saw all these guys do stand up, and the one thing about Patrice that I don't know to this day, I saw him no less than I don't know, 10 to 20 times. Oh, I'm allergic to cats, Alex. Jesus Christ.
I love cats.
I actually love them too. But you would see Patrice, and you're watching this guy, and you were thinking to yourself, is he fucking making this whole setup on the spot? And to this day, I don't know. I know he took comedy seriously. I know he took his stand-up seriously. But I think he was brave enough to just throw everything away and just fucking go with it on that stage. And that's what made him so damn brilliant. Because that's where the real stuff lies.
They tried to get mad at him because I forget which comedian made a rape joke, and they had him on Fox News, and he was just lambasting that girl about it. That's such a classic clip. I mean, dude, that was even Howard Stern. If I had to compare his best radio, it was like Artie and Eric the actor. But I would argue that Opie and Anthony with Patrice was a better show than Howard with Eric the actor. I mean, I really would say that there was more talent. You'd probably laugh more. You might get more pissed off at Howard, but like I said, it became a freaking Opie and Anthony mark right then and there.
Well, the mistake Howard Stern made, and it's stupid to say this because, like I said, I'm live streaming from a windowsill.
You guys probably have the same size audience. Yeah, Howard's audience isn't very big anymore either, so don't beat yourself up too much. I mean, his audience is 90% gone. He's
lying to his audience about his numbers, but letting Artie go is the biggest mistake because that's what made him so fucking real, and that's what Artie was the one guy on Howard Stern that was similar to what we were doing on Opie and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get these funny guys in. I remember back in the day, these comedians would come in and they would try to do their act. I'm like, oh my God, you're supposed to be a funny guy. I don't want to hear your stupid airplane jokes. If you're a funny guy, you come in and hang with us and we'll find hopefully the humor. And that was Artie. And when Artie was on with Howard Stern, that was when that show was very similar to what we were doing back in the day. It's just too bad because we had a massive fucking show going.
Well, I would argue, too, that I think Howard kind of facilitated Artie's downfall a little bit. Like he enabled him for sure because he knew that he was whacked out and like they said they were trying to get him help, but I feel like Howard used it as a crutch because it was so entertaining, it was so interesting. Everybody said, "Where's Artie?" Like the times when he would miss episodes, the episode would suck, but just the drama surrounding the voicemail that he'd call, "I'm sick, Gary," and, you know, he would talk about that for an hour of the show. Would be reacting to the voicemail. So Artie would be the best part of the show when he wasn't even freaking there. So. Yeah, it's sad that he just it's not even his politics. Like I don't even care that he's a little libtarded. It's just like he had Biden on. It doesn't ask him one. Does he do anal? He's famous for asking celebrities funny questions. Has Hillary doesn't ask Hillary if she does anal? It's like when he started not being Howard Stern. That's when I was like, I'm done. I checked out. Like
you know,
in 2018.
You know, Alex, you fucking know this shit. I love it.
Oh,
I mean, this is the first time I've had a long conversation with you. So you're 100% right, and this is what pissed me off about Howard. I like the guys, and I want to ask you about this. I like the guys that go after everybody.
Yeah.
And when Howard showed his true colors, where he was an obvious lib, he always was. By the way, he was too scared to.
Well, he used to say he was a libertarian, right? You know, I think that's when he was going to run for governor. I thought he said that he was libertarian, but I mean.
No, he was always this guy in the basement. He wasn't brave enough to bring it out to the public. And then when you become close to a fucking billionaire and you got properties that are as big as the Ritz-Carlton all over the fucking place, then it makes it very easy to praise Biden and trash Trump. When they both should have been...
Real timeout. I have to call a TV timeout because of you. That's why he made everybody leave the hallway, right? Nobody could be in the hallway anymore because what a pussy. Can't even walk down the hallway in his own company that he doesn't own the company, but he kind of de facto is like one of the owners, and he's too big of a pussy to even walk by his employees like that. Shit like that, it just makes me annoying, you know, because we're supposed to be down to earth. Like, at least you guys were down to earth. You know, you guys had the #1 show, but y'all weren't all pretentious. Howard's so pretentious.
It's worth repeating, but when I go down this road, people are like, "You're obsessed with that." Yeah, I'm obsessed with him because I know for a fact, because it was told to me by lawyers that no longer fucking work at SiriusXM, that the reason I'm not there is because I bothered Howard so much that he couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, that's the reason I'm not there.
But see, if Howard had half a brain, though, he should have, and I know that you guys have to have like some radio wars, but he should have made an alliance with you guys. You know, it just would have been better, but he's just, I guess he didn't want you guys to cannibalize any of his audience. But like, the talent that you guys had, it just seems so stupid for him to try to keep denying it. Like he would say that y'all sucked and you didn't suck. You know, it just makes him look stupid when he says that.
Keep praising. So I'll take you inside the whole thing. So when me and Anthony made our mark and we were becoming fucking huge, I'm telling you, he was jealous of us. We both worked for the same company. The company wanted desperately Howard Stern in the morning, Opie and Anthony on in afternoons on every single one of their properties. Howard blocked that everywhere he could. So then they had a mismatch. Well, we could put you on our other station that's not as good. They wanted to put us on all their powerhouse fucking FM stations across America, and Howard blocked that. And the only reason you got to think is because he was jealous of what we were doing.
Yeah, but there's so much overlapping audience. I don't understand. It's like how everybody wants to start a media company. If you want to start a media company, you don't want to be the only show on the media company. You want some other good shows on there. So it's like, why wouldn't Howard just, imagine if you guys were both on the same thing. It would have helped Howard's audience too, and he knows radio better than all of us. So it's like he was purposely doing it. He didn't care about the success. He just wanted to be,
to be fair, he didn't need the help. I mean, his numbers back then were absolutely huge. So to fast forward, they moved our show time to 7, and I started passing Howard Stern in the hallway. So I swear to you, Alex, this is all it was. I started saying hi to the guy. After all these years of all of the shit that went back and forth between the shows, I'm like, fuck it. He said some shitty things about me. We said shitty things about him. I'm like, fuck it. We work for the same company. I'm just going to say good morning to the guy. And I started saying good morning. And back then I had Club Soda Kenny was my security guy. I didn't need him anymore at Sirius, but I wasn't a guy that was going to tell Kenny, I don't need you anymore. So I was like, all right. So he was still around. So we're walking the hall and I say good morning to Howard. And Kenny starts laughing like an idiot. Kenny's like a 6'7" fucking monster that has no problem but rearranging your face. He's giggling like a fucking little girl, right? I go, Kenny, what's up? He goes, he's so bad. I'm like, how is he mad? I'm just saying good morning. The guy's
but Ronnie liked you. Didn't Ronnie like you guys a little bit, or what was that? Or did he hate y'all?
If he hated me, he never showed it, because how it worked was after the show, more times than not, I was in the elevator with Ron because he was getting Howard's car. So, and we would joke and just small talk, nothing crazy. And
well, Bubba's still good friends with Ronnie. Ronnie seems like a good guy. I mean, Bubba talks about him like he's really laid back and down to earth. And I'm as a huge fan too. You know who hates Howard Stern the most is Fred. Fred is the only guy on that show, I feel like, that always gives Howard shit back. Did you ever notice that if you ever listened to it? Like, I don't think Fred and Howard get along at all.
I don't know what their relationship is. It's fucking bizarre. I do listen to Howard from time to time. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the old days, but it's all right. He's still getting the job done for his audience. And Fred's a weird fucking guy. He's been with Howard for, I don't know, 40, 45 years, and he barely talks on the show.
Well, do you think, and this is the conspiracy, and I think Howard and Ralph were boyfriend and girlfriend. And you know, and you know, Ralph took care of his hair. Nobody, I mean, I'm in my 30s, late 30s at that, but I'm saying my hair is graying. How is Howard Stern 70 years old, has pitch black hair? Like, he definitely has a hair system. So I think that Ralph was on the payroll because he was in charge of that, had to make sure his hair system was always good. And I think that they had some sort of relationship. And gosh, now I'm really getting bad. You know, the rumor is that Beth was like a high-end escort type girl.
Wow, I don't know any of this. And
we got to be this?
No, we got to be careful about this shit.
I know. I don't want to defame them. I'm just saying maybe she was not an escort, but she was hanging out with some circles like Jeffrey Epstein-esque adult people, you know, and they, instead of doing children, they kind of, you know, pass these women around, because I think the story is that they met at some guy's wedding or something, or some really nice dinner. But I don't know. Beth has always kind of rubbed me in a weird way. I've never really liked Beth either. Even though she likes cats, that's the only thing I
gotta just make it clear, because I can't afford another law.
We love Howard. No, Howard's not gay. Ralph definitely did not have anal sex, and Beth is not a call girl.
No, I have no idea, but I will say this: the Ralph Howard thing was always suspicious. And I remember back in the day, me and Anthony would laugh at it. I'm like, everyone thinks he's a tough guy, shock jock, and he gets his hair done. Like, why is his fans buying into this horse shit? And then we had a guy that came on our show back at WNEW that swore that he had a hair system. Swore. I don't know. I have no idea. This is what the guy said to us. He was a sponsor on our show, and he literally, I guess he wanted to get in good with us, so he said that to us. So I have no idea.
I believe it. Because just genetics. I don't think it's possible that your hair doesn't turn gray at 40 or 50 or 60. You know, I mean, and then he has a full luscious head of hair. Like, even, I mean, my hair is receding, and I have a lot of hair. So just from my personal experience, it just seems like it's definitely a wig or a hair system. Like, he's probably got some real hair in there, but it's woven in with hair from like a Bangladesh immigrant.
Yeah, I don't know, but just to finish the story, so I started saying hi and good morning to him in the hall. I'm like, it's just a good fucking morning. And then all of a sudden, one day, I get word that they're shutting down the entire place until he gets safely into his compound at SiriusXM. So I got that famous video where I'm in like the elevator bank, and there's a glass wall with the doors to go into Sirius.
Yeah, you're being held out in the elevator.
And then the security guard would put his hand up like, not yet. And then when Howard passed, I was allowed to go to work, dude. They said I was the second biggest show at the fucking company, and they're making me wait at the elevator banks because this guy can't handle it. So I'm like, fuck this. This was happening day after day. So I just started filming it. And Club Soda Kenny, once again, and I probably should have listened to him. He's like, I wouldn't do that if I was you, GH, because he knew it would be a major problem with the company. And I was like, fuck it, though. What am I supposed to do? So I posted it online, and my life at SiriusXM was on the fast track at that point. They were not.
You think
happy.
That was it? I mean, honestly, though, if you're like one of the biggest hosts that they have, and the fact that you can't walk down the hallway with another host is I don't know. That seems like a toxic work environment. I mean, I know that you want to obviously get paid. You guys are getting paid well, but it's just like,
well, they try to fire me for some bullshit, and well, I got to be careful. And then I was like, no,
yeah, we don't want to get any more of lawsuits. But
no,
long story short, I loved the Sirius XM days. Those were
sorry.
days.
Go ahead. Sorry, Alex.
Well, I was going to say those were the best days of radio. Even Howard, you guys, even I listened to Bubba. I listened to all of that. And I even listened to Pharrell. I just loved that era of radio.
My God, it's the best. Yeah. But I mean, just to finish up on that, it's like, Howard, like you should be able to take this shit and just punch back. I guess you got your big show. If we're pulling this horse shit, then punch back. But it was always him going behind the scenes and yelling and screaming about us.
Huh? That's what liberals do. They just yell. They don't know how to talk. They just fucking yell. They don't know how to punch back. They just yell. They try to be louder than you. Pieces of shit.
Well, that's even worse. Though he's going to upper management and complaining, and that does have an effect because it puts them in a position where they feel like they have to go act or do something to prove something to Howard. And I mean, it's just, I don't understand why you'd want to ever affect somebody else's livelihood unless y'all had real beef. Like I would understand, I have beef with people on the internet, but it's not real. Like I don't really want them to lose their job. I don't really want them to get demonetized or their channel to get taken down. But I just don't understand why a guy like that, it would be just so sensitive. You're Howard Stern. Who gives a shit? Like you're too big to fail. Like, so what? A guy's filming you. Maybe that gets some clicks. You don't look that bad. Like he doesn't look bad. You're throwing baloney on strippers' asses. Like what? I mean, it's not like you have. That's the other thing is Howard tried to. He wanted to go A-list. He wanted to go Jimmy Kimmel. Right. He wanted to go Jennifer Aniston. And that's when he really changed because he was able to trick us and act like he was just this blue collar, getting up at 6 a.m. Getting up at 5 a.m. and going to work. When in reality, it was just all bullshit.
He always wanted to be that guy, but it was just like. It would drive me and Anthony nuts because I'm like, his audience doesn't understand what a big fucking pussy this guy is because he fought all the battles behind the scenes, and then he would be brave on the air. I'm like, ha 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 ha. But it was quite the time to say the least, Alex. Oh my God!
And nothing will ever recreate that. None of this podcasting, none of this stuff. I mean, it just will never be like that. It's kind of sad, really, that Sirius Radio is dead. I mean, that was in the era before, some people maybe had podcasts towards the end of it, but that was like the last era of radio, in my opinion.
I don't even know what they do over there, for real. Yeah. I listen to Howard a little bit in the car here and there if he has a good guest, I guess. Like
if I'm in a rental car, I turn it on because I travel.
Right.
A rental car that has it, but I don't pay for it. And I listen to a show, and it's just like Robin not being funny. And I didn't also like when Robin had cancer. And I get that you're going to be secretive, but how she was like not in studio, and that they couldn't just admit it. Like if a guest would mention that she wasn't there, they'd be like, "Oh, it's like
right.
She has cancer. We don't. Nobody's going to care that she's sick and that she's missing shows." So I thought that was like, it's just an unnecessary lie when people would be empathetic to her. But I get that you don't want to talk about your diagnosis or whatever, but anybody that was really a fan figured it out pretty quick that she was obviously sick and going through something. So it made me kind of worry as a fan. I'm like, is Robin going to die? Can we get a Robin update? I mean, I didn't like that either.
I do have to say I still bow to Ron Bennington. He's still getting it fucking done.
Yeah, but he's great.
I tuned in to Andy Cohen once, like, oh God, he's like the it girl over there, and he fucking stinks. It drives me nuts because I know what I can fucking do, and I have to sit here at a windowsill and watch fucking Andy Cohen just going through the motions.
Well, did you see Andy Cohen was getting canceled kind of because everybody was calling him Jeffrey Epstein? He had like a Skittles commercial, and everybody said he looked just like Jeffrey Epstein. That was cracking me up. I mean, Andy Cohen is not a radio broadcaster, but because he created that Real Housewives franchise, which is just, the biggest franchise ever, that's why he'll always, I think he basically owns Bravo. He's like, runs that. So that's why they all kiss his ass, just because he's,
he was on once, and he goes, I hear you guys are homophobes. I'm like, oh, God, we're not homophobes, you idiot. Our track record shows we're not homophobes. Well
Jim, you got Jim on the show. Jim can't be a homophobe. I mean,
Jim allegedly married a trans.
Well, Jim talks about how he would go and sometimes get with the lady boys back then. He's, he would joke about that.
I looked at him like, we're not. What are you talking about, you idiot? Oh, I hate them all. Alex, I got to ask. I got tricked by this guy, and now I know who he is. What's your relationship with the I don't know his name, the black guy that does those fucking viral clips? Weren't
The
you
homeless
involved?
guy? You're talking about my buddy, the guy I ran into Barstool with, or
It's the
IG
black
bum?
guy in the subway that jumped off the.
yeah, the fake homeless guy. His name's Esteban Romero, and he's he's not really homeless, but he's not really home full, if that makes sense. Like he lives in a you know, one of those kind of group homes where you like rent a room. He's definitely not super rich by any means, but yeah, he goes so viral. He's actually a friend of mine. He was a vet, went to school in Brooklyn with Bushwick Bill, so he's a old school New York guy. He's so hilarious though, because you know, New York, I know it is the greatest city on earth, but you have to admit, Opie, it has gone downhill in the last few years. Like it is not it was so good after 9/11. I remember going there as a kid. It was so cool. And now you go to Times Square and it's just like, I know Times Square is not the best representation of New York, but you know what I mean? I think it's just an indication of kind of where it's going. Like it used to be so cool to buy the fake Oakleys and all that stuff. And it just, the vibes are just so different now in New York.
It's too bad. I mean, it's, you know, it's very, very hard to live here. I mean, they just crush you day after day. And yeah, you're not wrong. But I mean, I stay in my neighborhood, this neighborhood, the Upper West Side, where we're hanging in there. So
yeah,
I don't.
That's a nice area. There's probably not.
Well, I don't see it. But when I walk through Times Square, you're 100% right. I mean, you know, there was a point that people were literally cooking rats on the sidewalk. I was trying to film those guys and realize I'm not as brave as I used to be. That's why I bow to someone like you, Alex. You're doing it because I was out there doing it, and I'm like, something started feeling different on the streets because I had balls with my street videos, and then something changed. So I think you're right. And I a few times I'm like, you know what? I don't think I have it in me anymore to fucking take these big swings like you do.
Well, I don't even like to. I mean, I did some live streams in, you know, around Times Square, and these people are just like, everybody's on edge, and it's just not. It used to be like people were on vacation to New York, and everybody was kind of in a good mood when you go to Times Square. Now it just seems like you're going to get some scam from like some Somali or something, or they're going to, you know, steal your iPhone. It's just the vibes are different. It doesn't feel like the New York that it was, you know, not that long ago.
I'm being asked about that guy, the homeless guy. So there was a video. I'm trying to remember. He jumped off the subway naked. Can you walk me through that one video?
Spider-Man. So he steals a girl's food on the subway, and then we had another guy dressed up in Subway Spider-Man, and then he went and, you know, tackled him. And that video has like millions and millions of views. But you know, but Esteban's, I think, biggest video, if you remember during the pandemic, it's a guy who's mopping, and he goes, and it was fake, but the guy's mopping the subway, and he pushes the guy's mop out and poops in the bucket in the subway, like in the hallway. And it always goes viral because people are, you know, trying to trash New York. They're like, look at New York. But what's sad is there's real videos worse. Remember that girl caught on fire, or that person that was caught on fire?
Oh yeah.
I don't even think they caught that person that did it.
No,
like
of course not.
That was the scariest video I've ever seen. I mean, that was insane. A guy's on fire on the subway.
Of course.
I've known Esteban since I used to do stand-up with him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's the man.
Since before he was the bum.
Well, I've taken him to the Capitol Hill. Him and I've gone to D.C. We disrupted some meetings there. I've taken him to like congressmen's offices. Like he's actually, you know, he's a little smarter than,
that guy's
you know,
a sweetheart.
People would think. But it's just funny to see a homeless guy with his ass hanging out. I don't know why that is, but it is funny.
I had a few viral videos with this comedian Kelly, and same type of thing. Like I didn't want anyone to know that the videos were fake and that she was a comedian, and a bunch of those videos did really fucking well. But it drove her nuts because she needed, you know, publicity. I'm like, but if I tell people these are fake, then you're fucked, because then you're not going to get the views, because what's bringing these people in are people thinking these are real things going on in New York City. And
exactly.
We had a decent run with those.
Is that Esteban's videos get millions of views, but he's not really able to monetize it because it's always other people sharing it. So that is his problem. He has billions of views, you know, as many views as all of us, more probably now, but he can't really monetize it because it's these goofball videos where he's just like has his ass out on the subway stealing girls' Chinese food and getting tackled by Spider-Man, you know.
Did you bring him into Barstool?
I brought him into Barstool. And, you know, that video was there. I brought him in while they were live on their show. I think it was called The Yak. And it was like their biggest video. And I've apologized. I became friends with Kirk Minahan, one of his broadcasters on Barstool. And I was friends with the guy that worked there. I went to LSU, and my roommate was his roommate's brother. So this guy, Ben Mintz. Long story short, I had a video during the Super Bowl and the Bengals were in it. And I called into their city council and I was like, oh, my wife and kids love me because I have a drinking problem. So I bet all of our money on the Bengals and I just kept pushing it. And now I'm a rich man. You know, I got $250,000. I'm so thankful for the Bengals. And I'm like kind of acting drunk in the video. Well, Barstool shares it. And then like after an hour, after it gets like 1 million views, they take it down. So I tweeted Dave Portnoy. I'm like, why are you guys so sensitive, pussies, you know, deleting this video? so he invites me on his podcast. Then about 2 hours later, he talks to some people at Barstool. They're like, no, don't have Alex on. He's going to, you know, it's going to go sideways. And so he's like, uninvites me. So then him and I have this public spat. And in our DMs, he's saying all this cringe stuff like, oh, well, I'm going to sleep so good on my $500 million. So I share that. And like, I actually ratioed him on a couple of the tweets. But long story short, I was annoyed. So I got Esteban. We went to New York City. We ran into the headquarters and I had on this New York Islanders hat. So I looked like I was like a Barstool employee. And I had Esteban and we had him in like sweats so he didn't look all jacked up. And then in the elevator, he took off the sweats and he was in his homeless outfit. And we got into the thing. They opened the door. They got in because they thought we were like, I just walked in with confidence. They thought I was meant to be there. And then they realized, I'm like, where's Dave Portnoy? So then his security, it's like these black women, they cut my face, you know, they beat us up basically. It was such good content. And long story short, it was a funny video. It was one of their biggest videos on their YouTube that year, me breaking in while they're live on the air. And I tried to bend the fences with Dave. I've had multiple people reach out to him. And he just is holding the biggest grudge. Like, I've had people at the company reach out and say, Alex, it's just a joke. He knows it's a joke. So I actually like Barstool. I don't hate Barstool. Dave's so annoying that he's I'm persona non grata. Like when I confronted Brittany Griner at the airport. It was like it was the biggest story because all of the WNBA wanted to get private airfare. You know, they wanted to have private flights, and so they made it seem like it was like the Holocaust. They made it seem like it was the worst thing ever, and Barstool couldn't even cover that. And I was on the ticker of ESPN for 2 days. Like, you know, YouTuber confronts Brittany Griner, and this is why these women are unsafe and they need flights. So it's just stupid that I have done some sports relative stuff and they won't even cover it.
Wait, no, I gotta fill in the blanks here. So you go to the airport, Brittany Griner, and you basically asked her if she fucked Putin to get out of Russia,
get out of jail,
and and you asked her if she hates America.
Yeah, and I was awesome. Like, well, I go, was it a fair trade for the Merchant of Death? And now, you know, did you bang Putin? And you know, it was just a joke, but they took it like it was such a big deal. It was.
But that one didn't make sense that she got released. It's fucking weird. But then, because of that, to your point, the WNBA redid how these women travel because of you.
And I'm even in there. They had some lawsuit where that one good-looking player, the one blonde girl, I can't think of her name. She was sleeping with the Phoenix Suns general manager or whatever. I know her name. It's not Paige, but there's actually one hot WNBA girl. I can't think of her name. But long story short, in that lawsuit and that drama, I was mentioned because the players were worried about security. So I've been my name's been mentioned in a bunch of WNBA lawsuits. And really they should be thanking me because now they have private flights because of my dumb ass. So they they owe me. If anything, they shouldn't hate me at all.
Alex, I really appreciate this. I bow to you for real. The shit you're doing. Man.
I want to say this too. And a lot of people, you know, they give you a unfair criticism. You know, I think we're, like you said, you can find something to critique everybody about, but you guys were on top, number one, and that wasn't just because of Anthony. You know, Anthony's very talented, but it wasn't just Anthony. You know, let's be real. And Jim was, you know, a factor to that too. So my point is, I think some of the criticism that you get is unfair, and you know, I'll always defend you. And I'm an Opie and Anthony mark, and the show was Opie and Anthony. It wasn't just Anthony, and I think that should be known. You know, I think you deserve the credit that you earned.
Well, I certainly appreciate that, but you know, I had my time. You're fucking doing it. Keep going, brother.
I'm trying.
I'm a fan from afar. Like the shit that pops up, I'm like, this guy. You go to the city councils. That's fucking nuts.
Well, in New York too, Jennifer Gutierrez, one of my biggest videos, is a city councilwoman. I called her a big booty Latina at the New York City Council, and they always reshare it. I'll send it to you after this. They hate me at the New York City Council. They hate me.
Right.
So I need to go back up there now that Mom Donnie is mayor and go give him the business. You know, he's a goofball for real. You see, his mom was in the Epstein files.
I saw that, yeah. But I hate all politicians. You know, people try to label me. I fucking hate them all. So when I see someone like you going to these city councils where it's all just fucking bullshit and you get up there in front of the mic. Sometimes you're dressed as a woman. It's like I'm like this guy.
No, but my biggest videos are me going after Dan Crenshaw. Everybody, even on the conservatives, hate Dan Crenshaw. I've gone after Ted Cruz because all these conservatives are pussies too. Most of them, it's all a uniparty. They're all behind closed doors, drinking and having fun. It's Macho Man Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan at the end of the day. They on Fox News and CNN they hate each other, but when they're in those things, they're congratulating each other on the stupid shit that they do. It's all bullshit.
I could back that up because I had Anthony Scaramucci on my podcast, and he said, "Dude, he goes, oh, if you only knew, when those cameras are off, you go to these bars or restaurants, they're hanging out together, they're drinking together, they're having big meals together. It's all bullshit."
It really is. It really is. And that's from my just experience going there. That yes, there are some politicians that hate each other, but I would actually argue that there's even more beef within the parties. There's actually more animosity between Republicans and Republicans on Capitol Hill. Everybody's getting mad at Thomas Massey, but there's just endless examples of that because those people are actually competing for power within their own party. So that's actually where there's more beef within your own party. So it's all the opposite of what we see on Fox News and CNN.
If I like any of them, it's the ones that go against party that I'm like, okay, I want to pay attention to that guy. So at Massey, I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of brave, kind of. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of a sudden, kind of brave.
She's wild. I hate that she quit though, but she was the most loyal to Trump, and that's another thing that makes me mad about Trump. She was so loyal to him, then all of a sudden she's Marjorie Trader Brown because she doesn't want to keep funding these wars. It's like,
And I want to add Fetterman to that list.
Fetterman's a good guy. He seems like he's pretty base and cool guy. So
he's going to be a Republican soon, right?
He basically is. Well, okay, this is so stupid though. This is one thing that, and this I don't even know why we argue about this. I got to show an ID to go drive a car, buy a beer, to get on a plane. I think you should probably have to show an ID to go vote. And he said that, and they're trying to cancel him for saying you need to show an ID to vote.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You can't say that. It's racist. For everything. Why wouldn't you have to show an ID to vote? So
I agree with that. Alex, I got to go. I actually end these things so I can bring my kids to school. My life has changed. My life has changed, brother. But thank you so much. This was huge for me.
We'll do it again soon. All right. See you, Tony.
Later, man. It was nice watching you guys.
Sorry,
yeah,
Tony.
I got to show Real America's Voice. It's every night at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. It's on Dish, channel 218. It's on all smart TVs. It's on YouTube. I got that going on. And then, just go watch my show. And hopefully I get hired by this WBAP. Doing terrestrial radio, it's kind of a dead market a little bit, but Cumulus, it's actually their biggest market is here in Dallas. And it's at Victory Park, connected with the American Airlines Center, but this is what I'm worried about, and I really shouldn't say this because I know we only have a
Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble.
Well, I'm not trying to get in trouble, but I'm really good friends. There's two sports stations in Dallas. There's the Fan and the Ticket, and the Ticket is an award-winning station. You've probably even heard of it. It's it's a big station. It's one of Cumulus's biggest stations in a big market. And I'm best friends with all the Fan guys. They always play my clips, and the Ticket doesn't. And I'm just worried because all the Fan people follow me. And I just don't want people at the Ticket to be like, don't hire this guy. He's a fan, But I guess I can't control that now. I can't go back in a time machine to become friends with them. So
Dallas is a great. When we were syndicated, man, Dallas was they were great for us, man. I love the people down there. We're
laid back. We're laid back in Texas. That's.
I don't know about your women don't play. I remember going to gigs and more times than not, these women, they all had breast implants. It was probably our audience that we were attracting.
Well, they all have boob implants. Yeah, we have more plastic surgery in Dallas than anywhere.
And they were leaving their guns in the glove box to go in the club.
Everybody's got a gun. Opie, everybody has a gun here.
Everybody. Amazing.
Yeah, you need one. You need one. You need one here. Honestly, I don't think you can have one in Manhattan. I don't know what the laws are, but in this day and age, and I'm not even a gun nut, but gosh, things are so crazy. I would have a gun if I were you, but it is what it is.
I got my stuff. Let's just put it that way. Alex.
Okay, well, good.
I got my stuff.
Right. Howard had a gun. Howard used to always carry a gun in his bag. You know that. There was that thing where they looked in his bag. Howard carried a gun with him everywhere. So that's serious. Howard had a gun. Anthony has one on a holster. It was it's fucking nuts.
But thank you. Your plug got you probably 12 new listeners. So
I'll take it.
Thank me later,
it's not about the quantity; it's about the quality.
All
so
right,
I'll take some good quality fans that over a bunch of fair weather fans any day. So I appreciate you having me. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll come on again anytime. Just hit me up.
All right, thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right, Alex Stein, everyone. That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
Sorry, Tony.
No, don't worry about it, man. Listen, you told me, and he is a lot. And listen, I enjoyed watching the show.
I apologize though, but all of a sudden we were flowing. I'm like, you know what?
No,
I don't know when I'm going to have him on again. So let's go with this. So me and you, maybe I guess you pop on tomorrow so you could actually talk on this thing.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. All right.
Go teach a lesson.
I got to go. This is my friend Tony P, comedian. How do they find you, Tony?
Tony P Comedy.
All right. Let's just end. Let's just do peace out. Thanks, guys, for checking this out. The audio version available in about, I don't know, a few minutes, wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Subscribe to Opie Radio. Once again, thank you very much to Prime Time, Alex Stein, for doing all right by me. Thank you, Alex.